Today, I want to talk to you about the one thing that you need to be happy. I know, it doesn't sound possible, but when I tell it to you, you're going to know it, right? Love. Research, positive psychology, over and over and over again shows relationships, having good relationships with people, is the number one thing that is reported across the board in terms of happiness. Having loving, caring relationships. So I want to talk today about what it takes. And there's a missing piece that I want to warn you about. All right? Let's get started. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink with my 5 minds. Today we're going to talk about something pretty important. Today I want to talk about systems psychology, systems with a P, and help you understand what is it that makes us who we are, what fulfills our greatest needs. And our greatest need is love. But there is, like I warned in the beginning, there's a missing piece that we got to fill, that we got to take care of. So let me start off like I always do. Let me tell you a story of a girl named Rebecca. Now, Rebecca, pretty traditional mom, taking care of kids, working around the house, doing some extra service work where she can, and pretty normal life. Husband, family, 3, 4 kids. She's got it. She's got it all. Except she's not happy. Now why? Why is she not happy? Well, she thinks she's not happy because she's needing more love. She's feeling depleted. She feels like she's giving love, taking care of the kids, taking care of her husband, taking care of, service projects, all the things, the volunteer stuff that she does. She's giving out, and needing to get something back once in a while. But she's not. And because of that, she is burning out. Now, what's also happening along that route is that there's resentment building up. Resentment happens. Resentment's one of my favorite I call it a dashboard light. That thing that comes on your dashboard and says, warning, warning. Resentment's a great emotion because it's an indication, it's an indicator that you're giving too much. When you feel resentment, it's because you crossed the line. You did and you did and you did and then you did and you did more, and there's a part of you that's angry about it. Now here's the weird part about it. Resentment is that we're resenting the other person. Almost the idea is that they're supposed to give back to us, but that's not the way it works. Our resentment is our resentment. Our resentment is our feedback that's coming from our own brain that's saying, you're doing too much. You're giving too much. And our gal definitely had lots and lots of resentment. And where was her resentment focused? First guess? You're right. Resentment was focused on her husband. Now Jack's just a normal guy. You can tell by the name Jack, he's a normal guy. Engineer, kind of a nerdy kind of guy. But his wife, she's getting resentful. And she's resentful because she feels like she gives and gives and gives and gives. And then she's empty. So what does she do? She looks to him to get her cup full. And because he doesn't know how to do that. That's not what he does. That's not who he is. She resents him. Now think about it. Jack is Jack. Jack is one of those guys who is just a constant. Jack was Jack when she got married to him. Jack is Jack now. Jack has always been Jack. And yet she's resentful because Jack isn't loving, isn't filling her, isn't giving back to her in a way that she needs so she can feel her cup filling up after it empties out. Well, that's not Jack. Jack has never been that way. But she feels like it's his problem. It's his fault because she's empty. She looks to him as if he is failing. He's dropped the ball. The truth is, she is failing herself. So let me see if I can explain this in a way that kind of makes sense. And what I want to use for an example is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'll put it up on the chart here. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I kind of tweaked it and modified it a little bit so it makes more sense to us. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs basically says that we all have needs in our life, and it works in a progressive order. If we don't get our needs met at a low level, then it's really hard to get our needs met at these higher levels. It's like the pyramid. It has to be met in the bottom first, then the next tier, then the next tier, and those tiers build off of each other. So if you skip a step or you skip a tier, it's not going to really work. Now, the way Maslow wrote it up, I tweaked it a little bit. I changed it a little bit. Maslow started off by saying needs and wants was first. And I think that's wrong. He has next up safety. And I think that really is where needs and wants should be. I think those should be reversed. And the reason why I think that is because I have deer that come into my backyard. We have a pond, a waterfall, all that kind of stuff. And I watch those deer. They come up to the pond, and their first concern is safety. They're always looking around. Is it safe? Is it safe to get some water here? And yes, they have a need for water, but their first need is safety. If that environment isn't safe, they're not going to come and get water. That's all of us. Our safety need is primary. If this house was on fire, my first need would not be to get a sandwich in the refrigerator on my way out. My first need would be my own personal safety and the safety of my family, right? Well, that's primary. So safety is one. Needs and wants, that's two. Then he talks about connection, love. And I totally agree with that one. We have to feel loved. The next one up, he talks about esteem. I'm going to flip that one a little bit. Same idea, but word it differently. That one for me is about feeling lovable. So I have feeling loved, and then I have to feel lovable. I have to be able to take that love and let it in, to feel worthy of that love. And that's what he would call self-esteem. I feel like I'm worthy. I feel like I can take that and receive that. And then after that, he has what he calls self-actualization. What's that? We don't know what that is. We don't talk like that. That's probably a 60s phrase that was popular back then, but it's not so popular now. Instead, I want to put the highest level, loving. So it goes like this: safety, needs and wants, being loved, being lovable, and loving. Those are the three top. Being loved, which is my parents love me, caretakers love me, family loves me, friends love me. That's important. Then I have to feel worthy of that love. Because when I feel worthy of that love, I can actually let it in. There's a lot of times when we love people and they don't feel worthy of that love, and they push it out and they push it away. And I actually think that that's kind of what's going on with our gal who's married to Jack, because Jack is Jack. And she didn't marry this guy who's loving and demonstrative. She didn't marry some Italian dude who is just like hands and all over that kind of stuff. Flowers and poems and songs. And that's not Jack. Jack's never been that. And she felt uncomfortable with that. So she didn't seek it out. She didn't want it. She wanted Jack because Jack wasn't going to shower her with tons of attention that would make her feel uncomfortable, because she basically didn't feel worthy of it. But now she's in a dilemma because she's empty and she has no way to fill her own cup. Because even if someone did step in and love her, she's not worthy of it anyway, and she would reject it. So here she wants to jump up to the highest need of loving others. That's our highest need. And I actually think that one is two-part. Loving, to me, is the law of love. Loving others as I also love myself. That's where I get my cup filled. When I am taking care of others and taking care of myself, that is the most rewarding and fulfilling. Because it's full. It's like my breath. I can't just exhale. If I'm only going to exhale, I'm going to die. I got to inhale and then exhale. It's a cycle. I got to receive and give love. And when we're only giving love because we're uncomfortable receiving love, our cups are going to get pretty empty pretty quick. And we're going to sabotage ourselves by putting people around us who really aren't going to be able to meet our needs. Now, we may blame them and resent them and point fingers at them, but the problem, it points back to us. That we have to be lovable. We have to believe that we are worthy of love for us to really reach that highest level. Because in that highest level of love, loving, I have to do both. I have to give to others, and I also have to give to myself to keep my cup full. I'm not going to do that if I'm not lovable. That's selfish. That's self-centered. That's wrong. Well, all of those terms and ideas come from this idea. I'm not worthy. So, here's what I want you to do. Homework for you. I want you to look at your hierarchy of needs, and I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to look at this core issue that we're talking about today, resentment. And I want you to see if resentment is a part of you. Are you giving too much? Are you feeling empty and depleted and giving anyway and then resenting it? Well, if you are, I want you to take a step back. I want you to take a step back, homework assignment. I want you to fill your cup. I want you to be able to feel love for yourself. Bring love to yourself. Journaling, exercise, time with friends, quiet time, meditating. All of those are self-loving tasks. Bubble baths, reading a book. All of those are self-loving tasks where we're giving a chance to fill our own cup. And that's what I would challenge you to do. If you want to be at the highest level of evolution, of our persona growing, you have to be able to love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you can't love yourself, then you really won't be able to love your neighbor. If this was useful, give me a like. If you want to learn more about systems, systemology, and this new psychology, subscribe. Again, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and you have watched another My 5 Minds production. I'll talk to you soon.